see. Lui gonna be the choice of ban alongside the Link from the side of RRQ, and ONIC instantly take away Skylar's Claude as well as the Barons.
Has the challenge been refused by RRQ, the Kings? It seems they do not want to challenge the Assassins of Kyrie.
We'll have to see. Maybe they're trying to push him towards a different pick. Still an Assassin. That is yet. We have to wait and see if that does get revealed to be the case. But for now, the Claude is banned away, but the Natan is still a possibility if they want to go for it. But that's where the counters start coming through in your mind, right? Do you think you want to go for the Natan when you know that there's some kind of trap, some kind of preparation already from your opposition? That is what Coach Zaya is dealing with right now.
I think before the match against Bigatron, when they were able to counter the Natan from Skylar, I think before that we'd be like, sure, for sure the Natan has to be banned out away from this man. But the fact that we've seen it having a loophole, definitely ONIC understands this, but not so much for the Harith. So the Harith has been eliminated from that gold lane, and now RRQ have the first pick.
We've seen some junglers show up, and you know, you can't really pressure the side lanes already immediately. You go usually for the junglers, and then you translate that pressure towards the sides. But it's gonna be an Angela first pick for RRQ.
Sets up for possibly a hyper carry in the gold lane, that Natan, but for ONIC, it's the Fredrin and the Natan. They take it away from RRQ, saying they can play it too with CW.
Oh, this isn't great.
Not at
Now,
all.
ONIC have the Fredrin that can still be flexed. We've seen Lutfi play it before, so there is still a layer of flexibility in ONIC, but of course we've seen that Kyrie on this Fredrin has amounted to a lot of success as well, so even if they want to leave in the jungle, it is a viable choice for ONIC to take. RRQ, with the response, they need to be able to secure a hero for Skylar before that lane gets a little bit too difficult for him. As we all know, RRQ, one of the main pillars is Skylar.
It's no secret at all. I believe they have that in mind, but when they show the Roger, it can deflect to the jungle, but chances are it's going to be put in the gold lane. If it's already shown out this early, maybe they're also trying to just throw a curveball. They go for a jungle Roger, act like it's a gold lane, so that later on they can still pick that marksman. It's a bit of a risky play to try and play these mind games against Coach Yeb as well as Coach Adi. But with the Mathilda still open, it is secured as well. I thought the Angela with a gold laner is going to be dangerous, but Natan and the Mathilda, that's also absolutely menacing.
But remember, technically this Angela and the Arlet still can be flexed.
Yep. So can the Fredrin though, technically for ONIC. They can still pick up a cheesy assassin or maybe perhaps even a Hayabusa towards the end. So we have a comment here from Emperor Jonathan Liandi.
This is Kyrie already back to his prime when he picked up the Hayabusa.
Yeah.
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 We can't forget the yeah.
I think everyone yelled out the same thing when we saw the Hayabusa pick up for ONIC, for Kyrie. It was a synchronized yeah from around the world.
Well, look at that. It's going to be a Kadita ban for RRQ. So they're really worried that there's going to be an all-in prio in the drafting phase to try and get heroes that can one-shot the backline members. Remember, it's not just Skylar, it's also Clay, who is known to play these high-ground, squishy, vulnerable heroes that the Kadita can absolutely punish.
Remember, yeah, the Eve, still an option, Novaria as well. But again, this Angela could still be a mid laner, so not really sure what to expect so far. ONIC, however, have the last ban. Looking at everything that's going on, any predictions to the ban?
The ban's it's kind of tough right now for ONIC. The safe one would just be to take away some of these, I would say, roamers earlier over the Minotaur as well. Technically, they have an Arlet and an Angela, so that's flex too. But they decide to take away the Akai, so already setting up for a possible assassin pick. The Fanny is usually what we, expect after an Akai ban like that, something that can just dive through without the threat of a heavy spin. And RRQ, they have a chance to ban that away as well. Unless they have a plan to go head to head. They just don't want to go up against Ling maybe. They want an assassin battle, but just not against Ling.
Because the Link is just a bit too mobile. We've seen what Annabelle was able to do on it in the earlier matches. But it's definitely not something you want to leave open. And so is the Fanny apparently. Now we'll see, finally, is it going to be a reveal? Is it still going to be the last pick hidden, potentially an assassin for the side of ONIC? That's a strategy they've used extensively.
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
we're gonna set up with the Faramis first for Sans, I believe.
Yep.
So we have the Matilda and the Faramis age-old combo in their mid-trio. Just waiting to see the next two picks coming from RRQ before they make a decision whether or not this Fredrin will be in the jungle or whether it will be flexed into the EXP lane. Meanwhile, for the side of RRQ, wait, technically, no. You can't flex in a ton in the jungle, right?
You
Oh.
can. We have seen it. We have seen it from, I believe, not in Indonesia, but we have seen it in the Philippines.
It's rare.
Blacklist Sensui.
Did it work?
Natan in the jungle and a gold lane Ruby. Yes, it did. They were able to come back in that game, and RRQ, they decide to not go for the assassins. The Valentina pickup to be able to withstand the Nether Realm and take it away also for themselves. But here it is, the decider. Will we see an assassin? Will we see a flex of the Natan? Or will the Fredrin just go to its natural place, the jungle, for now?
I feel like going to the natural spot is great, and now they have a chance to just pick a winning matchup to really shut down the EXP lane. I mean, I thought earlier that an X-War in these conditions, everyone clumping together can be so valuable, and against the strategic playstyle that both teams can bring through, that extra opportunity by sacrificing the Firaga armor could be used for great value, but it wasn't picked up by RRQ. It won't be picked up by ONIC either. It's gonna be a Paquito.
Okay.
Power wave? Question mark.
Power wave.
It is. There you go. Paquito in the EXP lane. We have the Natan in the gold lane and Fredrin in the jungle. No assassin showdown for game number 1. But it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. There still could potentially be 2 more games ahead of us. But what do you think in general about the composition that both of these teams brought?
I feel like ONIC has a lot more flexibility in how they want to approach things. So when the game is straightforward, oh, it's just fights and fights, one team with a gold lead, you know, the general stuff. I think RRQ still has options and have the Angela playmaking potential. But once it becomes strategic, once you can feint out, once you can flank on the sides, I feel like ONIC has ways to do that even better.
Because technically Angela does have that potential, but in a 1v1 against the Paquito later on when the Lord fights start to begin, that's when things get a little bit tricky for RRQ. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you to the first game of this Royal Derby in leg number 2. The stakes are ever so high for RRQ. If they don't win this, they will have to swallow the red zone once again as we get into game number 1. Let's go.
No assassin battle in game number 1. It's still the utility junglers, but what's interesting is the fact that RRQ have challenged a very, very scary hero that not a lot of teams have let go towards ONIC. That Matilda for Keyboy is something that is very, very scary.
Definitely something that Keyboy knows how to make the best use of. Looking at the emblems here, Sans and Keyboy going for the full agility with his blessing, trying to match the mobility from RRQ. Skylar going with the Master Assassin. CW unfazed with the Bargain Hunter and still the Weakness Finder. He is trying to go aggressive, perhaps win this lane even with the assistance of that Matilda, man. That is so pesky to deal with.
He wants to get that power spike as soon as possible, and technically speaking, their mid-trio is still quite strong, despite being put against the Valentina and the Angela. The Faramis has good clear, it deals a lot of damage as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be too aggressive in the item builds, but still can dish out the damage. So we'll see. So far, they have been focused on this mid lane. There's still 20 seconds. Oh, he's actually receiving a lot of damage from Clay at the moment. Should be forcing a recall, and that does and should prevent them to go for an engage.
Well, Clay is going in for the Quantum Charge, not the Impure Rage we've seen in today's matches. So he'll have a bit more movement speed to play around with. And Kyrie with the Impure Rage as well. He's going to be able to dish out a bit more damage. The overlap, the mana that he's going to get from it will be transformed to healing. So in a sense, it's still a good amount of sustain, but it's not a good all-in option.
Scary stuff in the mid lane. Brusco, very, very low. Forced to pop and regen. Meanwhile, RRQ make their move up top a bit faster. In the bottom lane, CW actually getting better of Skyler there. Irad jumps in with the shield unity, pulled back by the Shadow Stampede, and in the bottom lane, almost a solo kill there. CW tries to dive in. Irad already low. Lutpi looking for a flank as Brusco heals Irad back up. That's a flicker into the front, and that's a lot of damage placed down. A good NetherRealm steal with the IMU as the final slash comes down from Dawn. But RRQ will lose out in this neutral objective battle. Lutpi still going on, but wow, an attempt from Irad now knocked up. This might be a bad spot. Shadow Stampede to bring him back in his first blood for Kyrie, and Brusco is caught as well. Has a flicker to get out for a bit, but Kai dashes forward and finds the Appraiser's Wrath.
That's technically a 3-4-0 for the Sky Kings in the 3rd minute of the game, and you can already see the confidence seething out of Keyboy with those recalls. 2 people were taken down, plus they were able to secure the neutral objective. RRQ on the back foot.
So the stats earlier, Lutpi 3-0 on the Pakiro, Kyrie 9-2. And man, that fight, 2 sustain options and 2 heroes that can be beefy but also do damage. The Pakiro and the Fredrin.
Wow.
The combination is just what's so good for that early game turtle fight. But look at the talent predictions by Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Interesting.
The Indonesian does call for RRQ, if I'm not mistaken there.
And Arashi.
And Arashi.
And me.
And Clay.
Ooh, still gets out.
Luckily, that was so close. Again, right, the damage between Sans and Keyboy is already a force to be reckoned with. They also need to be careful despite them having that regeneration coming in from Brusco. But as it stands, it's a 2k gold lead for the Sky Kings.
We'll have to see what RRQ plan on doing, man, because they do have a stronger gold lane, but Clay is just being pressured again and again. ONIC knows that with the Angela and the Valentina, they want to exert pressure and maybe try and shut down Sans and keep him from roaming. But that's where the ganks come in, and it's really swinging the balance in favor of ONIC.
Carrier's just spamming the Appraiser's Wrath at this point, just trying to get as much poke as possible. Already ahead by 1 level, and even in the bottom lane, this Roger hasn't had the effect that you would expect against the Natan.
The lane was interrupted with, especially with Keyboy here, always just in the wings, whereas Brusco has been more on the mid lane, with the gold lane already swinging in favor of ONIC, and with Brusco now leaving the mid lane alone, you have to wonder if Clay is also going to start to feel the pressure, and if that happens, can they still go for a decisive fight in the turtle? Remember, against a Mathilda and a Faramis, tons of sustain.
Wait, Arad is 2 levels below of Kyrie.
Oh, 2-man final slash on a Keyboy, still with the guiding win and a retreat by Kyrie. Dawn in the midst of it all, now pulled back by the Shadow Stampede as another round comes in, but it's not going to be there, not there yet. CW is participating in the team fight onto the Natan very early on, gets the weakness finder, he gets a double kill as he picks up a Starlium set in the mid-minute of the game. Sans with a pullback on Irad, Kyrie with the sandwich maneuver and a full dive with another realm under the tier 1 turret as Lutpi escapes. And ONIC get an all-out win. It's 5-0 in 5 minutes.
They utilize the NetherRealm at the last possible moment to create miscalculation from the side of RRQ. Sure, RRQ was able to get a tower in the bottom side, but that gets instantly traded back with this mid-side turret, and that means that ONIC have better control over the jungle as well as the side lanes from the side of RRQ.
They're just ruthless with it, and of course they're trying to bait using the NetherRealm, but it wasn't even required. That's why it wasn't really used in that fight. The fact that Keyboy alone is just managing everything is just so difficult to deal with. You see Sans here with the negative Durance, lowering that healing coming from the Angela even more, whereas for CW, already with the Starlium and the Feather of Heaven, he has a lot of shred if he's left to his own devices.
Now a desperate attempt at Lutpi's life in the bottom lane, but he just gets out. RRQ scratching the turret down, but now Kyrie enters the team fight with Keyboy, brings someone back as well. Brusco out of it, and gets caught by the circling eagle. Irad with the shield unity to escape. Brusco is down another time this game. 2 times. 6-0 start. 3-0 for the Natan that needs to scale to snowballing Natan.
That was a very, very desperate play. Understandably, RQ want to look for a pick. They need to look for a trade on the map to prevent the snowball coming in from the Sky Kings. However, that timing couldn't have been more ill. The fact that the Heart Guard popped off, and then they waited until the point where they had to separate, and now they're going in for another.
An entropy CW is melting the RRQ front line. without the Holy Crystal, and they're going for more. He ran in the midst of it all now, caught by the CC, and the damage in CW is melting him. Again, it's a double kill for CW. 5-0 for Natan.
Who says Natan is a late game carry? Says CW. The man already joining with the fights, already reaching the power spikes. It's a 7k gold lead in 7 minutes, man. ONIC is winning in the fights, giving no kills to RRQ, and they're still winning out in the objective game, in the farming game. RRQ just confused on what to do. They have the mobility, they have the tools to roll around with Iran on the Baxia, but at who? Towards what?
Oh man, I mean, we were already impressed with Chidera's Natan earlier on, 13 minutes, already a good build for him, but now CW in 8 minutes, wait a minute.
Finding Keyboy there with the stun as well, but now look at CW! He's free hitting in the midst of it all, even with another realm! It's late! They can't calculate the damage enough! Kyrie Dyers on the Brazers, wrapped in the back, and a double kill for CW, who's looking for more, he's chasing them down! Calvin with nada!
That's a triple kill! That was a triple kill, nearly a maniac, nearly a savage. Literally only Clay was the one left standing right before that occurred. He was able to secure that holy crystal. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's only been 8 minutes.
Exactly.
These turrets are falling down like flies and no problem. Absolutely no defense possible. Seeing how far behind RRQ is. 11k gold lead for the Kings, the Sky Kings.
I don't think I've seen the gold lead spiral out of control that fast. 48 seconds until the Lord is up, and already we're seeing base ending levels of gold difference from ONIC. And it doesn't seem like they're going to stop anytime soon. They're back for a bit just to clear their own jungle, and now they're going to be going back into action.
Another circling eagle, they can do whatever they want at this point. Clay gets knocked out with no counterplay.
Can they end this?
Blood Wings, 9th minute, 4th item for CW. He's farming heroes at this point, 8-0-1.
Can they get the fastest game?
They're on track to do so.
What's the fastest game? 10 minutes and 52
Oh,
seconds.
Bigatron versus Geek.
Well, we'll have to see. With the Lord coming through, it seems like they will go, ONIC will go and take the free Lord first, and then go and manage the waves afterwards. And for RRQ, even if they do hold off this assault, they're up against a Natan with a Roger. Now the foot is on the other shoe. Right? RRQ, they can't really just wait.
Look, he can just walk up like this. It's a 14,000 gold lead in the 10th minute of the game.
It's still unfathomable. I mean, 1v4 as well. CW also very casually walking up to 4 members from the side of RRQ with absolutely no fear in his eyes. And look at how much damage he's doing on these turrets.
Casually walking up as Skylar almost loses a duel against Lutpi. Man is a menace on this Paquito. But here comes the Lord, here comes ONIC. RRQ, can they defend?
Trying to beat the record, the Sky Kings this time. 10:50 is the record to beat. Just a few more seconds for that record to go away in this game at least. Kyrie with a taunt forward, only onto Irad. ONIC will take it slow. Base turrets all down with the First Lord. Every single one, Keyboy's looking for it. They want to go for the end right here. CW still waiting. Final slash not connected on the CW. Now he goes in for the entropy. My goodness gracious! What an absolute monster! 11 minutes and 4 seconds for ONIC to dismantle the Kings of Kings.